Fried rice is a great way to use leftovers you have sitting in the fridge. The different combinations of sauces, vegetables, and proteins makes fried rice an easy meal while being able to save money on your grocery bills. Cooking fried rice is a fast process and even faster if you're using a wok. We will break down the different components of the dish, and you will be able to make fried rice with so many different combinations of ingredients. I like to break fried rice into 3 different categories: aromatics, vegetables, and proteins. Some of my favorite aromatics are garlic, ginger, and shallots. For vegetables, I usually just use whatever vegetables I have left from another meal or ones that I haven't used yet. For proteins, it's the same thing. I will use whatever I have left over, and I'll always use eggs as well. I really like making fried rice because it's like a canvas where you can experiment with different combinations of different ingredients, and in the end, it's most likely still going to be really good. Feel free to use any combination of these, or even whatever that you have on hand. So now let's prep the vegetables. For my aromatics, I'm going to use an onion, a cup of cloves of garlic, 2 stalks of green onions, and some Thai basil. And if you're watching this and you're worried that you don't have an onion or you don't have any garlic, that's fine. Just leave it out and it'll still taste really good. I just used whatever I had left in my fridge. Next, we're going to need some rice. The best is when the rice is a day old so it dries up, and it'll help fry each grain of rice individually. Next, I'm going to use this leftover barbecue corn that I have, 3 eggs, and some frozen peas, about a cup's worth. And most importantly, we're going to need some soy sauce. Soy sauce will help give that distinct brown color when we fry it up. Now let's prep the vegetables. I'm going to try to keep all the vegetables relatively the same size so that we get that even texture throughout the rice. I'm going to cut it in half. Cut the end off that's not the root holding the onion together, so we can make slices not all the way through. And I'll cut it in the middle, and then we'll start dicing it like this. And we'll put these onions in a container aside for now. For the green onions, we're going to cut off the little root here, and then separate out the whites from the greens. We'll use the whites when we start our fried rice, and then we'll use the greens to garnish at the end. Cut the green onions at an angle so it looks a little bit more pretty, and we'll place it aside in this container for now. We're going to do the same with the greens, cut them at an angle, and then put them aside for now. Same with the garlic. I'm going to peel it and just chop it up. And I'll place this in the same container as the green onions. For the corn, I'm going to cut down the cob just to get all the kernels. For the Thai basil, I'm just going to pluck it off the stem. This Thai basil is going to make our rice very aromatic, and I'd recommend trying it out if you haven't before. Next, I'm going to crack 3 eggs in a container, and then I'm just going to mix them up. Now that all the vegetables are prepped, I'm going to grab the soy sauce, salt and pepper, and a neutral oil when we fry it outside. I usually fry my rice in a non-stick pan, but I recently bought this cast iron wok that I learned how to season. I will have a video explaining on how I season my wok in the description when I release it. If you don't have a wok, then any frying pan will work just as well. If you made it this far, I would appreciate it if you liked the video and subscribe. Thank you and much appreciated. If you're going to be using a protein like leftover chicken or beef, I recommend browning them in oil first and then setting them aside for now. Once the fried rice is almost done, add the protein then to prevent it from overcooking. Since I'm only using eggs, I'm going to leave it closer to the end. You can add eggs at just about any point, but I wanted to try it at the end to see how it would turn out. Now let's cook our fried rice. I'm going to heat the wok till it gets really hot. If you're cooking indoors with a non-stick pan, preheat the pan to medium-high heat. Now that we see the wok is smoking, I'm going to go in with my oil, and then right after I'm going to go in with the onions. And I'm going to do my best here to try to flip the onions without losing them. This is a really fast process, so that's why it would be a good idea to have all the ingredients ready to go. As you can see, the onions are starting to get a char on them, and we're going to keep letting it go just to let it develop a little bit more. When making fried rice inside, you would follow the same process of high heat and frying everything quickly. If you'd like me to make a video on frying rice in a normal pan, leave a comment below. And at this point, we're going to go in with the corn. We're going to allow the corn to get a nice char in it as well. And it looks like my tossing skills are getting a little bit better. Once we're happy with how the corn looks, then we're going to go in with the green onions and garlic. I left them out till now because I didn't want them to burn. And you'll see me adding more oil throughout this cooking process. This is to get everything coated in the oil so it doesn't burn and everything browns nicely. When the garlic and green onions are aromatic, now let's go in with the rice. This is where day-old rice really helps because it's a lot more drier than the rice that you would cook today. As the rice is frying, try to break up the clumps. This will help separate each individual grain and help it fry a little bit better. It looks like the rice is starting to stick, so this is where I'm going to add a little bit more oil. At this point, we're going to go in with the soy sauce. The soy sauce will help give the fried rice that distinct brown color. I'm just estimating how much soy sauce I'm using here, but I probably used a couple tablespoons worth. And I'm going to keep stirring constantly till everything starts coming together. I'm going to add a touch more oil, and this is where I'm going to put in the eggs. Give a moment to let the eggs set. I'm going to season with some salt now because I haven't added salt in this whole dish besides the soy sauce. And then I'm going to stir it all together with the rice. At this point, I'm going to turn off the heat, and we're going to go in with the peas. And finally, I'm going to go with the garnish, the green onions, and the Thai basil. I'm going to taste one last time for the seasoning. And there you have it. Fried rice with whatever I had in my pantry. I wasn't able to get the shot of me pouring the rice onto a plate, but here it is. All of the aromatics and the char from the wok really brought this fried rice to life. I hope you enjoyed the video and have some more confidence to make your own custom fried rice. Take care and enjoy the day.